Here's a follow-up ramble on my ramblings about different modes of walking with your dog. So I said that sometimes you will take the lead and sometimes you let your dog take the lead. Sometimes it's up to them whether they want to go outside. Sometimes it's up to you whether they have to go outside. So how's the dog supposed to know what paradigm they're in? Well, it's actually pretty easy. You need contextual cues. In my case, okay, you're pooping. That's a very good girl. Gotta praise Sienna for pooping outside because she gets stressed easily. So that's a difficult behavior, and I'm gonna pause this video to clean up. Okay, we cleaned up. So most salient in terms of letting our dogs know what kind of walking mode we're in is gonna be contextual cues. And those can be environmental or equipment based. For example, Sienna gets to take the lead when we're out here in the naturey park area of the giant plot of land where the apartments are on. And this context lets her know that I'm gonna just follow her as far as I can, unless the crawl space is too tiny for me. And in Chai's case, the contextual cue that she gets to do whatever she wants is being off leash. When she's off leash, it's up to her what she wants to do. Here, I'm gonna whistle back more often than in general because there's almost always so much food outside and I don't want her to eat all of it. Leave it. Thank you. Let's leave it be, please. When we're off leash in a truly naturey place where there are few people and no or few dogs, then I let her range much further. And the only way that I use to get her back if I have to is I'll hide somewhere and wait for her to come back by her own. She's leave it, thank you. She's gonna stay within that small larger radius. So when we go to a national park, for example. And in other terms, Chai has a contextual collar cue and a contextual front clip harness cue. And the collar means I want her to informally heel. That means I don't want her to overstep an imaginary line at the tip of my toes. And I want her to stay on my right side. And the whatchamacallit, okay, we're gonna go this direction. That's the right, Sienna. The front clip harness for Chai means that I don't want her to pull, but otherwise she can do what she wants. So when she does pull, I will do a circle. And the back clip harness in combination with a long line or flexi also means I don't want you to pull, but of course your radius is larger. Another contextual cue could be the environment. So in Sienna's case, Sienna only has this one leash and we use it everywhere. So the context is the environment, right? So this environment here with all the plants and the green stuff is where she gets to take the lead, and the more urban environment is where I take the lead. Pulling is never allowed because she's a strong girl. I mean, even though she doesn't really pull that hardly, when she pulls, I will stop. But here, I won't make her do something or go a certain direction by using the VAMOS announcement and then taking the handle of her harness. Here, I'll just follow her. However, when we're in a more urban space or really right between the buildings, this is something I will frequently do if I want her to go a certain place. And usually before we are here in this grassy area, or in the parking lot right before it, I am going to ask her to VAMOS anytime she stops, and I don't want her to. So it's the environmental context, and it is also the verbal cue that lets her know that I'm going to call the shots now. And I'm not going to go back and forth between those two all the time. So I'm not going to go back between VAMOS and then letting her do her thing here again, and then VAMOS and letting her do her thing here again, etc. Here, I'm just not going to use this cue at all. Unless I was like in a super hurry, we needed to get home, then I would do VAMOS and we would get out of here. So the VAMOS would right away flip us into I take the leadership role mode. So yeah, let me know what your contextual cues for different modes of walking are in the comments.